All those in favour say aye. Against? Motion is therefore carried. So, move to 4.2. Under 4.2, the committee structures and deputy mayor. My pleasure to announce Councillor Maria Takanawa as and option 2 as deputy mayor for this triennium. The committee structures the committee structures that I have, there have been no changes to the conversations I had during the one-on-one meetings with you all. So we'll table the committee structures there with that acknowledgement of Councillor Takanawa as my deputy. Will I have a mover? Moved Councillor Purdy, seconded by Councillor Thomas. All those in favour will say aye. Aye. Against? Motion is therefore carried. See legislation briefing.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just briefly, councillors, we'll be pleased to know you won't be treated to a global section by section account of the legislation relevant to councils. However, can I just set it in some context? New Zealand, as you know, does not have a written constitution, and as such, local government does not have a formal constitutional role. It is a creature of legislation passed by our legislature, our government, and the most relevant pieces of legislation and the legislation that has the most impact on our lives as councillors and local government staff is the Local Government Act, together with some amendments to that, or 2002, together with some amendments. The Local Government Act covers what the role of local government is, how it acts, how it can't act, as well as numerous sections relating to the authorities of local councils. Also as relevant is the Local Government Official Information Meetings Act, which outlines how we must conduct our meetings, what occurs in the meetings. Probably the most relevant piece is two bits of immediate relevance to us. The first is the official information. Every piece of correspondence, verbal conversations you may have as councillors with each other, with the staff, with members of the public, is all discoverable under the Local Government Official Information Act. And I know Michael and his team will go through that with you in some more detail tomorrow when you get your communication devices by way of a laptop and a phone. But that is something important for councillors to be aware of, that every bit of communication you have within and outside of the council, in your role as councillors, is discoverable. The second piece of legislation under the Local Government So the second issue that is covered under the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act that is important is that council meetings are in public unless there are largely privacy or commercial reasons why they should not be. Only in meetings can councils make decisions. No decisions can be made outside of those council meetings, and there must be no predetermination of what those decisions may be before you enter into that council chamber for that decision. That is something that is very important because the public need to be able to see the debate that occurs and how you came to vote the way you voted and the debate that swayed you or didn't sway you. And so that needs to be borne in mind. So there is no caucusing outside of the meeting chamber, there is no predetermination. And there have been some high-profile cases in the law where decisions made by councils have been overturned or altered by the courts on the basis of predetermination. So I don't want to wave a shroud around, but it is very important and is a cornerstone of the democracy that occurs in a Western democracy such as that practiced in New Zealand. I won't go through all of the other legislation. Obviously parts of the Crimes Act apply to you as councillors if your behaviour meets the threshold of a crime. Likewise, Secret Commissions Act. It doesn't happen very often in New Zealand, but trust me, where I came from in New South Wales, Australia, secret commissions were, is still something that councils are besieged by. But just be aware of that any inducements, whether it be as small as a free pen from a contractor, may well be covered by that legislation. So it's something to be wary of. And the Financial Markets Conduct Act, which in idiomatic language is really insider trading. Not that there will be much opportunity for councillors to be involved in trading activities. Largely our Treasury manages our investments, but it is again a piece of legislation that you may well be wise to take note of. As I said, there's no test at the end of this council meeting as to how well you know the various pieces of legislation, and I don't intend to go through section by section, but just to note that these pieces of legislation cover our activities. You'll no doubt learn more about those through the LGNZ courses, as well as through the induction period, which takes place over the next 2 months for your roles as councillors. But happy to answer questions if I'm able, if you have any.
Questions? Clarity? All good?
So you talked about some of the issues that may arise from concerns or anything that happens. What are the consequences? What happens if we do not stay within our jurisdiction?
The different pieces of legislation have different penalties. For example, things like the Secret Commissions Act, the Crimes Act, may well have custodial penalties, but it depends on what the infringement is. The Local Government Act, some activities have the impact of a crime, others don't, but the penalties vary with what that behaviour is.
Anything else? Then, Councillor Wallace, seconded Councillor Van der Leden, for recommendation that Council receives and notes the CE briefing on legislation affecting elected members, and B, confirms the next Council meeting date and time of Thursday the 27th of November 2025 at 9:30 a.m. All those in favour will say aye. Aye. Against? Motion is carried. It comes to the conclusion conclusion. Can I just start again by absolutely giving you all a big rap for embracing the kaupapa today, especially here in this body, to reach the position we're at, where you're sworn in as servants, I guess, for the South Wakato community. Can I also ask you, then invite you to embrace your new roles as elected members, and your journey ahead. There are a lot of moving parts, and as I said to everyone on our journey one-on-ones, 3 years is a long time in this gig, and a lot of things can change and happen. So should changes happen, then I will make changes, the appropriate changes that I think were deemed necessary at the time. So again, thank you all, thank you everyone, Raukawa, Nemi Poi, Koro, and all your support, to our council staff that have made this happen. It's going to be a journey and a half, and I think we all know why we put our hands up for this role, and it all starts from now. So having said that, and welcome all those chairs and my new deputy who will sit beside me for the next 3 years. And Maria, thank you for accepting that role. And I know it would have been extremely hard to work that in with your work, but it's I think we owe it upon you to work with you as well. Right. So I'll just ask Paul, you want to close us? How much?
I have a question. When committee structures and members and list of all committees going to be made public,
Now this is all on all the government websites now, on avenues now, we'll go to the public tonight.
Okay, thank you.
mahi, muriana tene, mai ua, nawa, tinari, e ki ana te kore ko te atoto tātai pina kāpo ta kao, roto i ke ngā, te wāki ana tātai tene nuho nei, e tautoko nei, me ki, hei hapai o kote tuara, kure i tātau, e te whakakararo, kure i tātau, e whina kōrere a tano ke āpori, a ne norea, e ne tui ati kia kotau, kia tātau, e hone i te tātau whare,